noticed more and more young teens becoming parents? This is a growing issue in today's society. 3 in 10 American teens will get pregnant at least once before the age 20. That's nearly 75,000 teen pregnancies every year. Now, there are many solutions to this issue. The number 75,000 can be decreased by allowing minors to purchase birth control without parental consent. In my personal experience, asking my mom for birth control was just not an option, for many reasons. One being culture. In my culture, as a young, unmarried Mexican woman, it is not okay to be sexually active before you are married. Sex in general was a taboo subject, especially when it came to religion. In the Catholic religion, sex before marriage is very frowned upon, and you are viewed as not being pure and not being a respectable woman. For this reason, if I had ever gone to my mom for birth control, she would not have supported this decision, and she would have been very disappointed and most likely angry. I believe that by allowing minors to purchase birth control without parental consent could lower the rate of STDs. The male and female condom can lower the risk of STDs being transmitted. Condoms protect both partners from STDs by preventing an exchange of body fluids. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, chlamydia is the most common reported STD. Approximately 1.7 million cases were reported. Of those cases, women between the ages of 15 to 24 accounted for nearly half of those cases. Along with HPV, herpes complex virus is also another STD that is increasing due to the lack of resources available to young teens. According to the NES data, there has been an increase in HIV of 23% within adolescents. As you can see from the chart, over 1 million people are infected with an STD every day. Of these 1 million people, 25% of them are teens that have to live with an STD. Reducing teen pregnancy is an important goal to society. Birth control can help decrease the amount of teen pregnancies. There are different types of birth control that are available. There are condoms, birth control pills, IUD, the patch, and many more that teens can look into. According to the book, Show Me the Evidence, Obama's Fight for Rigor and Result in Social Policy by Ron Haskins, in 2010, nearly 370,000 babies were born to teenagers. The number 370,000 is in fact astonishing. If teens were to be allowed to have access to birth control, this number would decline significantly. When birth control is used properly, it is 91% effective, which means only 9 out of 100 teens will become pregnant. Like I mentioned before, teen pregnancies are a growing problem, and it has such an impact on a teen's life that sometimes it affects them for the rest of their lives. Preventing teen pregnancies and the rise of life-altering STDs is the goal. A better quality of life for these teens is a possibility, but many changes need to come into effect. Although there are sex prevention programs in schools, the number of teens becoming pregnant continue to increase. In the New York Times, an article written by Dan Levin, it stated that 81% of boys and 87% of girls reported learning about birth control in school and put it into use. Among dropouts, 30% of girls cite pregnancy and parenthood as the key reason that they left school. Becoming pregnant at a young age also has an effect on their education. For example, only 40% of teen mothers finish high school, and less than 2% finish college by the age of 30. Education, being an important part of any person's life, shouldn't be put at risk because of something that can easily be prevented. So, as you can see, the statistics are not great. Teen pregnancy and STDs are on the rise. Many times, these young teens are not comfortable with talking to their parents or legal guardians about sex. They are afraid to get into trouble or to get judged. Teens should not be feeling this way, but unfortunately, many do, due to the lack of communication between families. There are many issues in society that are being ignored, but what we cannot ignore is this growing epidemic issue. We cannot ignore that these teens are going into labor instead of going to their prom. This is something that can be prevented by simply allowing teens to be able to get their hands on birth control without parental consent. Thank you for listening.